Hi, this is Richard Sullivan with my daily video snippet. I don't do these every day, but I post them as I have the time. I wanted to touch on something today that bothers me personally a lot, and that is older people, no matter what their age, whether they're 30 or they're 50 or they're 90, they want to claim that staying fit or staying in shape is so much more difficult when you're older, and this is absolute nonsense. There's nothing about staying in shape or being fit that gets more difficult as you get older. It's just the will to do it, the will to eat right, the will not to stuff your face with every kind of food that comes down the pike, the ability to say no, knowing that the outcome of what you do is going to take you further from your goal instead of bringing you closer to your goal. I think a lot of people, as they get older, are looking for excuses and looking for a way out, and I just don't buy into this, and I hope you're not buying into it either. It's no more difficult to work out at the gym for me in my 60s as it was in my 20s. As a matter of fact, it's a lot easier because I know what I'm doing. I know how to get the most out of my workout in the shortest period of time, where in my 20s I was still searching and still struggling and still trying to figure this out. So don't think for a second that it is more difficult because you're just putting up a boundary or a wall, a hurdle you're going to have to jump over in order to make progress. Just start out with the mindset that this is not going to be any more difficult for you, no matter what your age, than it would have been for you as a teenager, because it absolutely is not. The one thing that might make it more difficult is if you have a condition or an injury or some unrehabilitated problem that will keep you from doing certain exercises or working out to a certain level of endurance. And that's just something that you have to deal with in its own time. I have a very firm belief in fixing yourself, whether it's an injury or it's an illness or it's just a mental block that you have about keeping yourself well and keeping yourself fit and eating right. Fixing yourself is what life is all about, and people who get older and who ignore the things that happen to them, who ignore the bad knee or the back injury or the fact that they've gained 30 pounds, people who ignore that stuff are those who get old the fastest. I think it's a bad idea to start eating whatever you want to because you think you deserve it somehow because you've reached 50 or 60 or whatever and you don't have to take care of yourself anymore. Because when you're 30 years old or in your 20s and you're doing whatever you want, you're eating whatever you want, and you're overweight, it's a lot easier for you to handle physically and emotionally than it would be if you're in your 50s or 60s or beyond. Opportunities do dwindle as we get older simply because of the perceptions of others, and it isn't just the perceptions of younger people. I think the worst enemies of older people are older people themselves, and the excuses they make and the roadblocks they put in their own way, and the dialogue that they use with other older people to try to influence them in a certain negative way. People who feel trapped want you to be trapped with them. People who are unhappy with their lives feel more secure when there are others around them who feel the same way. And this has nothing to do with age. I had a black friend in high school who was surrounded by his friends in the neighborhood he lived in who were trying to dissuade him from going to college, and he was in a college entrance program like I was, and he eventually did go to college, which I was very happy about, but that was the first I became aware of peer pressure, negative peer pressure, on the part of your so-called friends who are trying to keep you down with them because they themselves don't have the desire to move forward. So when it comes to fitness, you're going to find a lot of people who don't want to move forward. They're fat and happy, or so they seem, and they don't want to make the effort or to take the time to change their lives in this very, very positive way. And certainly if you do it and you become successful at it, it just makes them look bad. So they will try their best. My dog is trying to get my attention. They will try their best to influence you to do it their way, which is the negative way. So don't fall for that, okay? You do this for yourself. You don't do it for your spouse. You don't do it for your friends. You don't do it for anyone. You don't do it for a wedding that you have coming up or a class reunion. I mean, that's a good goal for the near future, but an awful lot of people that I've known that have gotten into shape or have lost weight for a high school reunion, as soon as the reunion's over with, there goes all their good intentions, and within a couple of months they're right back where they were when they made the decision to lose the weight. So hopefully this will be a lifelong thing for you, as it has been for me. And I don't have any delusions about living forever. I could be dead tomorrow. But my goal throughout my life has been not to be debilitated. I do not want to be infirm. I don't want to spend my last years sick or bedridden or crippled. I don't want to be limping around. I don't want to look awful. I just want to be the best that I can be while I'm alive. So if I die tomorrow, I will have reached my goal of being able and being healthy and being fit for my entire life. And hopefully I'll live well past 90, and I will still be fit and healthy in my 90s.